Okay, in this video we're going to talk about Paste Special. And if this is something you're familiar with, you know that it is very powerful for a lot of different reasons beyond just your simple copy exactly what you see and paste exactly what you see. And I'm going to give you a whole bunch of examples and kind of different scenarios where Paste Special can be really valuable to save you a ton of time. Okay? So let's just take our kitchen remodel cost worksheet here, and I'm going to highlight the whole thing, and I'm going to copy it. Okay, we've got the little dotted lines around the outside showing that it's copied to the clipboard. And if I wanted to just do a simple paste, I could just go over here and click Control V, and that's going to paste it right into these cells. Now you'll notice the formatting, well, the formatting is the same, but the column width is a little bit different because these columns are different. But for the most part, it's carried over everything. If you click into this, you'll see it still has the formulas. You can see that these cells still have the dollar formatting and things like that, right? So let's go ahead and undo using Control Z. And we'll look at Paste Special, which gives us a whole ton of different options. So you find Paste Special by either going up here, doing this drop down, and it gives you all of these different options, which we'll go through, or you can also click the Paste Special button down here, and it's going to bring up the Paste Special dialog box. You can also right click, and it's going to bring you up these options here, and it's also going to give you an additional drop down here with a bunch of options, or again you can go down to here and open up the dialog box. And then finally, if you press Control Alt and V, it'll bring you straight to the Paste Special dialog box. Again, that's Control Alt V, or you could think of it as Alt and then your regular paste Control V, right? Alt Control V. Okay, and that brings you up to this dialog box, which gives you all of these options. But before we look at this, we're going to go back to this version where you right click, and then you can actually preview a lot of the different options with Paste Special, which is really cool. So for instance, this is your normal paste. That's just going to bring values, formatting, basically everything across. You can paste only as values, so you can see here we don't have any of the coloring, the formatting, the grid, the dollar signs. It's just giving us the numbers and text. In other words, the values, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about why that's valuable in a second, but I just wanted to show you these previews first. Okay, here's another one where it pastes the formulas, and it doesn't look any different, but you'll notice that in these number columns under the totals and costs, where those are formulas, it will maintain the formulas here. And then transpose is a really cool one. So you'll notice what transpose does is it takes the kitchen remodel costs title and it puts it to the left, and then it puts all of column A. In fact, here, I'll just finish this so I can show you with my arrow. It basically takes all our first column and lays it across the top. So we have all of our materials now listed across the top, and let me highlight these and double click here to even them out a little bit. So you can see cabinet handles, cabinets, flooring, fridge, just like we have down the left side, and then instead of going across in rows, it goes down in columns. And that can be very handy if you need to just change the orientation of a range so that you can view it vertically instead. Okay. Let's go back to our Paste Special. So that was transpose. And then we can just paste the formatting, which is also kind of cool. So if I wanted to create, say, a bathroom remodel cost worksheet, and I wanted to keep this same formatting or style, then I could just paste all the formatting and then fill in the blanks with the bathroom remodel costs. And then finally you can paste it as a link. And this one's pretty wild because, for instance, you can see right here this says $120. If I go over to here and I change this to $300, when I hit enter, watch what happens right here. It updates. So this is linked to this. And in fact, in the formula bar, you can see it says equals D3, and this is cell D3. So anytime you make changes to this one, it's going to make changes to this one. So I could use this scenario on a different sheet, and whenever I update this sheet, the other sheet will update as well. So that's a pretty valuable use of it. Okay, I'm going to Control Z again to get rid of those again. Let me make sure I covered them all. Yep. Okay, so we have paste regular, paste formulas. We have paste formulas and number formatting. So this, you'll notice the dollar signs are still in there and the formulas are still in there. So if you want to keep those, you can keep those without all the cell formatting, but just keeping the number formatting. That's kind of cool. We have keep source formatting, which is basically going to keep all of the formatting from the original source. We can do it without borders. You can see the grid line is gone. This one's really cool. Keep source column width. So you remember how when we do just the normal paste, it just messes up the column widths. So when you do this one, keep source column widths, it actually adjusts your column widths automatically to make it look just like it was before. So that's pretty valuable. Transpose we already looked at. Paste values is important because, again, if we just want these numbers, we don't want the formulas or anything like that, we can do that. This one will keep the values and the number formatting, but not the formulas. So remember, this one keeps the formulas and number formatting. This one is going to keep the values and the number formatting. So you basically just get the numbers formatted how they are, but no formulas come with you. And then we have paste values and source formatting. And this one isn't going to work because my columns in this area of the spreadsheet aren't the same size. But for instance, where we could use this is if I wanted to replace this spreadsheet with the same spreadsheet but without the formulas in here, then I could just click here, go to this one, click paste, and now I'm going to escape out of it, and I'm going to show you when I go to these areas where there used to be formulas, right? $2,400, that's 400 times 6. In the formula bar, it just has the number. So it just has the value, not the formula originally. And you'll see if I go Control Z to undo that paste and click back into that cell, you'll see that it has a formula in there. Okay, so once again, this paste special values and source formatting keeps all the source formatting and the values, but leaves the formulas behind. Okay, so that's that one. We have a couple more here, and we've seen these before. Formatting, we can show just the formatting. Do the links. We can paste a picture, which basically just pastes an image of what we're looking at. And then a linked picture, which is a picture that is linked to the original spreadsheet. Okay, let's go to the dialog box real quick and talk about some of those things. Now, a lot of these we've looked at already. You can paste everything. You can paste just the formulas. You can paste just the values, just the formats. We won't go into comments and validation. Some of these things are not something you'll use very often. But you can do column widths, which is kind of what we had looked at before, where you get these columns all the same size. Basically, most of these are the same as the right-click dialog box, but it's just a different format for selecting them. Okay, so let's talk about how to paste using skip blanks. I'm just going to give you a couple of numbers, a little range here real quick. Okay, so you can see that we have two columns of numbers. We have the tens column and the twos column. And we have a couple of blanks throughout this little range. We have, in the first row, we have the 10 and the 2. In the second row, we have 2 blanks. In the third row, we have the 10 on the left side and a blank on the right. in the fourth row we have a blank on the left and a 2 on the right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right over here as well, so we can keep track of what happens when we change this. Now I'm going to take this left column and I'm going to copy this left column, and then I'm going to paste it over this column using paste special skip blanks, so you can see what happens. Okay, let's escape out so we can compare. So in our original one we had the 10s and the 2s. Now when we've pasted the 10s over, what happens is we have where the 10 finds another value, the 2, it replaces it with the 10. These are blanks, so nothing happens. Where the 10 finds another blank, it also fills in the space. And where we have a blank on this side and a value on this side, it does not replace the value with the blank. And that's what it means by skip blanks. Okay? It means that the values that you copied from this side will only populate over here if they're not blanks. So where you have a blank here and a value there, it does not replace it. It skips the blank. Okay? So that skip blank, get rid of those. I mentioned that I was going to talk about paste as values because that's one of the most valuable uses of paste special, one of the ones you'll use the most. So we'll just talk about that for a minute and then we'll be finished. And I want to start with this hyperlink down here, and I didn't mean to have 2, I only need 1. So this is a hyperlink, right? And if I take this and I highlight this carefully and I copy it, oh, there we go, copy, and I paste it over here, right click and just paste it, then I'm still going to have the hyperlink. Okay, so I'm going to Control Z to get rid of that. Now if I don't want to have the hyperlink though, I can go to my paste special and I can go to paste values, paste it, and now the hyperlink is gone. So I've removed that and simplified the text, and that's going to work for you in so many different scenarios. And I'll give you another example. So, and I'll Control Z just to get rid of that and escape. Now let's say we were dealing with these values over here, right? We have these formulas in here so that whenever we change these numbers are going to change. But let's say I just wanted to do a calculation with these numbers without the formulas in there. I can actually copy these and I can either paste them right into here using paste values, right? And that will basically, it's basically a simple way to delete out the formulas. See how now when I click on these, they're just numbers, no more formulas. So it can clean up your data to make it easier to do calculations. And of course, if I had another spreadsheet over here where I was doing calculations, like raw calculations just with these numbers, I could go over here and I could paste just the values like that. And then I don't have the formatting from my range anymore. I just have the numbers, and when I want to, say I want to do a calculation where I'm just picking out various things like these, like I just want to add up a few of the numbers or something, I can do a sum formula, grab a couple of these numbers, and get some results without having these numbers. For instance, this number, if I change this number, it's not going to affect my calculations because it's not going to affect these numbers that I pulled out of it. Okay, so that's the one you'll use the most, and that's paste special. And just to go back into our copy again and go back to our paste options, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, the last one, which I don't use very often, is you can add an operation. And actually, let me go like this. Let me grab these numbers and copy them. And we're going to put them right here. And let's say we wanted to make these negative numbers. We can actually put a -1 in all of these cells. I'm just going to copy it down. and then we go to paste special. Oops, I have to copy this again. Go to paste special, go to our dialog box, and we're going to multiply. So we're multiplying all of these numbers by the numbers in these cells, which is -1, right? And 120 times -1 is -120. So when we do this, and we're using this operation here, we're using a multiply, we click OK, we've now converted all those numbers to negative numbers. And I mean, that's like an intro to the things that you can do with paste special. As you continue working in Excel and you have these paste special options in your head, whether it's this dialog box or the drop downs, particularly these simple ones like the formulas and values and formats, and also transpose, these are going to pop up in your mind as opportunities to simplify your data to make it easier to work with and easier to do more calculations with. Okay, so grab one of your spreadsheets and do some copying and paste special and practice using these to get a sense of how they'll help you in your work in the future. And thanks for watching.